Hi, welcome to day 4 of the Easy Habit Change 5-day challenge. Another exciting day, and we're 2 days from the end of our challenge. Today's topic, the power of engaging, is one of my favorite topics of the week, and here's why. We're going to start talking about how your brain experiences change and engagement. The more we can understand what's happening in our bodies and the signals our bodies are giving us, we create a really lovely relationship of support where we're giving and receiving. We give our body what our body needs, and it performs for us in the way that we can stay engaged in the activities that mean so much to us. Now, the brain is command center for the body. So paying attention to what's happening in the brain and talking to the brain when we want to make changes in the body is probably the fastest and easiest way to start to promote change. And we've learned this in neuroscience. So in my practice, for example, everything has a lens of how the nervous system is communicating. Every movement, every action that we do, all the drills, and again, even this course was set up based on how we can start to understand communicating with our brain. So when you start to change what you do and how you do things with a goal in mind, you're giving your brain something to organize around. This is a really cool process, giving your brain something to organize around, because the brain loves input. The brain actually needs 2 things to survive and function well: fuel and input. It's just all of our organs, our whole body is basically made up of nerves that are constantly telling the brain what's going on. That's our sensory system. So the more we give it a job to do, and for those of you who've practiced meditation and can sit still for long periods of time, you know how much the brain likes input, because even when you're as still as you can be, the mind loves to start making up things. So there's something going on to stimulate it. So the brain just loves input. So by harnessing the power of engaging, we can use this to help us create new habits. So in this example, imagine learning to throw a ball. You pick up a ball with your hand, you bring your shoulder and your arm back, then you bring it forward faster and release the ball. That's basically what throwing a ball is. If someone says, please pick up that ball and do this with it, and that's throwing a ball, you may pick it up and you may do that and it may feel good, but the brain is just kind of going, nah, that was okay. Now, if we change that scenario a little bit, because this is the way most learning happens, is by giving the brain something to focus on, like a target or a person who says, learn how to throw the ball so we can play catch, that starts to change something. Now the brain needs to start collecting more input than just picking up the ball and bringing the arm back and throwing it. Now the brain has to pay attention to, well, if we're going to throw the ball to somebody, what direction? What speed? What's happening with gravity? What's going on with the sun? What should I be looking at? Where are my eyes? Where are my feet? Where are my posture? There is a level of engagement that gets your brain interested once you put a challenge in front of it. And that level is your sweet spot. It's the place where something feels doable. It's a little more than is currently happening in your experience, but not so far out that you can't believe you could possibly do this. So a child learning to just start to throw a ball at a target has to bring a lot more um, stuff online, like where do the eyes go, where do the arms go, a lot more stuff. It will take a lot longer than an adult who already has a lot of intact movement patterns. And if you were to just give them some cues, okay, you know how to throw a ball, great. Now let's cue you for the next part and the next part and the next part of the process. With a good coach, they're going to be able to learn very quickly how to throw a target or towards a particular person or thing. Because again, now the brain is interested because you put all of this potential data that it wants to organize to help you achieve the goal. So that's why in the Power of Engagement in our Easy Habit Change Challenge, preparation is the first step to succeed, because it's not just doing the exercise or eating a food that, or the right food that's better for you. It's giving your brain something to organize around and to start to move with and take information in on. And we can follow through on that as we engage in the activity. So if we have a successful, again, or a not successful, in our opinion, where we didn't achieve what we thought we were going to achieve, it's important not to judge that, because the act of engaging the activity is giving the brain input and giving the brain body time to then say, okay, let's get some more input and see what can work. And that's the part of reassess and start again. So today, as you're planning and doing your daily page, we're going to quickly go through this Easy Habit Change success formula. Again, to rethink, to expand out the mindset of creating success in habits. So the Easy Habit Change success formula involves doing a lot of prep work. Now, the types of prep work that we have started talking about in this course have involved several pieces of information. Okay, the first one, as you can see, is making a decision that you want to make a change. Then we start to look at your timing, your energy, where do things fit in your schedule, what type of support that is necessary, what are the elements that are going to help you set yourself up to create the result that you're trying to create. And then how do we celebrate that success? How do we really reinforce that sense of self-satisfaction of a job well done? So decisions. When we start to think about whether we're going to change a habit or not, once we've made the decision, often the task becomes much easier. Decisions in themselves involve gathering information. So for the purposes of our course here, what we did was say pick something really simple so the decision making can be taken out because decisions require gathering information. So a simple task that I chose, and I'm going to use this as an example, is doing more consistent eye drills. That's important to me. um, I would like to spend more time with it. And my reasoning and my decision is that I know 70% of movement involves vision and keeping my eyes moving well. And my eyes are a muscle, focusing well, and being able to adapt to changing environments is something that I want to be able to do. So that was an easy decision to come up with a drill that I would practice this week. Timing. So, what is required for timing to help succeed in a drill? I really encourage people, again, this is some of the strategies we've learned from research, is to attach a new habit to something that you have already consistently have as a habit. So my example is when I'm doing exercises, which I am in the habit of doing, I'm going to take an extra 2 minutes to do specific drills for the outcomes that I want to receive and strengthen in my eyes. So attaching a new exercise to an already existing exercise routine is a good idea. The next aspect is scheduling. So even though I might be attaching that new exercise and giving myself some extra time, I have to consider what things I need in order to do my exercises because I have a couple of devices, charts, and exercise equipment that I use for my eyes. And if I don't schedule in a time to put those elements in a place that I can utilize them, the activity is not going to happen. So scheduling is an important part of prep time. No sense showing up to exercise, doing the exercises, only to then have to find out that you don't have what you need there, and then you spend the next 15-20 minutes looking for it, and there goes your schedule. Support. How do we gain support for the activity that we want to do? So one of the areas that you can gain support, you can think about is what information do I need in order to create the results that I want? And I needed to learn more about eye drills, and I've known a lot about eyes and vision and visual perception as an occupational therapist. And in order to do some of the things that I want to do, I've had to go farther and to learn and gain information by studying eye movements and studying drills and exercises and how to measure success and those things. So learning was an example of support. Another type of support is by joining a group. Just by being part of this habit change, you've added support where people are getting together and encouraging because we are social creatures. It's how humans are organized, and whether we're introverts or extroverts, that will, talk about the type of support we need. Extroverts need more people around, more relationship interaction. Introverts need some connection, but need more time on their own, maybe need more processes to explore, to play with, to do on their own. There's different ways of doing what I call home play, whether you do it with a group or you do it yourself. So that's where we really individualize. And the support that, again, I receive is having worked with a very, very experienced trainer in eye development. And that has really worked for me. Just as an example, there's also support that I give myself in that I am testing when I am doing my drills to see whether I'm having a positive impact and moving in the direction I want. My drills are simple enough that I have mechanisms that I can test and see. So that's another way we bring in support. Celebration. Okay, so I've been talking about that all week. Chemicals like oxytocin and dopamine and all those really good, happy chemicals start coming. And I love some of the strategies that I see happening on Facebook, and I'm often putting up because I just love them. When I see people putting up positive memes and you can do it and happy dances, those are ways that the body celebrates. So I love this picture, people jumping on the bed. Yes, I've been known to do that too, but not too high. I don't have real tall ceilings. um, Another one, when my kids were young, we used to do spontaneous dance parties around the house, high fives, anything. Keep it simple. Make it something where you just have a joyous movement in your body, even in front of the mirror. Let your body just celebrate this new habit and new pattern. Even give yourself a wink in the mirror. Okay, so again, it's time to do your habit. I hope this was a helpful example of the value, importance, and gave you some new things to think about in terms of prep work. And 3 things to keep in mind. New habits are new skills. Skills are learned with practice. Practice equals success. New learning takes as long as it takes. Alrighty, so let's get some of this good mojo going and give yourself a high five. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.